Let's turn our attention inward and explore the thoughts and emotions that shape our experiences and discover how to live with more awareness and intention. I'm David Dawson, and this is Interaction. What are we on? I think this is episode 5. Thank you for joining me. And I really just want to say thank you for anyone that's spent time listening to any previous episodes that I've put out. It's been a learning experience thus far. I've had quite a few technical difficulties, some growing pains, and I appreciate your patience. But I am excited for today's episode because in the introductory episode, I talked about the mess we carry inside, those stories, emotions, and patterns that shape us. And today, we're taking it a step further. We're looking at the physical clutter in our lives and the emotional weight that often comes with it. This feels especially relevant during the holiday season when so much of our focus shifts to buying, gifting things as a way to show love. But over the years, I've heard from so many people an increase of stress, especially when they're left to sort through the physical possessions of loved ones who've passed. It's heavy, both literally and emotionally. It made me think about how generational habits play a role. For example, baby boomers. This generation grew up with parents who lived through the Great Depression, a time when holding on to things made sense for survival. Passing down possessions became a way to show care and provide for the next generation. But today, our lives and spaces look very different. Many of us don't want or need what's being passed down. The truth is, most of our stuff won't mean much to the people that we leave behind when we die. And while creating a home that reflects you is important, it's equally important to remember we're not taking any of it with us. This brings me to the concept of death cleaning. And that sounds kind of morbid, but stay with me here. It's a Swedish practice of intentionally decluttering your life, not just to ease the burden on your loved ones, but to free yourself as well. It's about letting go of what no longer serves you so that you can experience life more fully here and now. So what is it? What is death cleaning? It isn't just about clearing out physical stuff. It's about rethinking what we hold on to. The idea is simple. Keep only what's useful, meaningful, or sparks joy. Everything else can go. For example, our homes are often filled with things we don't really need. We hold on to items out of habit, guilt, or just in case. And Swedish death cleaning flips this mindset. By clearing the physical clutter, we also release some of the mental and emotional weight tied to it. And here's a little side note about me. Someone asked this question, and I thought it was such a good question. It said, if you came with a warning label, what would it be? And after some time, I was like, you know what? My warning label will be, I will more than likely throw something of yours away or donate it. And especially as a kid, actually, I would clean my parents' house by piling up random papers and magazines into these neat stacks. And I'm sure it drove my parents nuts because I probably put some important papers in a random stack that they needed. But anyway, that's just a little side note. But when we start to let go of things, something shifts. It's not just your space that feels lighter, it's you. You begin to notice the stories and the emotions you've attached to those objects. It's not just about tidying up, it's about releasing the weight that they carry. So I have a book that I really enjoy. It's called I Hope I Screw This Up by Kyle Cease. And he dives into this beautifully. He says, we hold on to stuff because we're scared of what will happen if we let it go. But all it does is slow us down. He uses this metaphor. He says, every generation hands their kids a metaphorical trash bag filled with fears, limiting beliefs, and unresolved emotions. Instead of dealing with the bag, we just add to it and pass it along. Over time, the bag gets so heavy, it drags us down. So decluttering isn't just about clearing your home. It's about breaking this cycle. It's about asking, what am I holding on to and why? And this leads me into the deeper part of death cleaning, the clutter inside of us. Just like the physical junk our minds hold on to, the old stories, those fears, and those emotions. Over time, these take up space and weigh us down as well. And here's a visual to help explain it. So think about moving into a new home. At first, it's clean, it's open, it's full of possibility. But as time goes on, you add furniture, decor, and more stuff. Eventually, the space feels cramped. And instead of letting things go, you keep cramming more in. And before you know it, you're living in chaos. And that's what happens in our minds, in our bodies. We hold on to old emotions, traumas, and stories, even as new ones keep piling in. And when we don't make space physically or emotionally, we can feel stuck, overwhelmed, and disconnected. But the good news is, just like you can clear out a closet, you can also clear out those old emotions. It's going to take time and patience, but it's completely worth it. And it's not about ignoring or suppressing. That's just keeping all those things stuck inside of you. Instead, it's about acknowledging them, feeling them, and beginning to let them release and to let them go. The past doesn't have to define you, but it can teach you if you let it. So where to start? And really the answer is quite simple. Anywhere. Pick a small area, a drawer, your car, and start and begin. And as you clear out the physical emotion, the physical stuff, emotions are going to come up. And let them. Your body knows what it needs to release. The more you allow these feelings to move through you, the freer you become. There's a quote that I really enjoy by Deepak Chopra. It says, "Spirit, like water, needs to flow to stay fresh." And remember, clearing out isn't about perfection. It's about creating space for peace, for joy, for new. So at the heart of death cleaning is this: to welcome something new into your life, you first need to create space for it. And letting go can feel uncomfortable and even scary for some, but it's also freeing. And death cleaning isn't about preparing for the end. It's about making space for now. And in doing so, we open ourselves to a life that feels lighter, clearer, and more alive. So let me leave you with this little question. It's actually a title of a song. I believe it's from the artist Incubus. And it says, the title is, "If Not Now, When?" Thanks for joining me today on this episode of Interaction. This was a short one, but I really appreciate anyone that took time to listen. Have a great day.